the problem with Pakistan is it's a thing that you don't want to ever happen to your side about being very predictable in both departments.
Before Naseem's injury, I felt that they had a genuine chance to make it to the top four.
Hassan Ali is the epitome of what Akshay just said. He could go for 70 one day and take 4 for the very next day.
I mean, given how high variance the side is, it's just hard to predict, man.
The final one in the Saturday preview, and that is the Pakistan cricket team and how they're going to fare, because it's the first time they're, of course, on Indian shores or soil, whatever you want to call it, after what, 7 years? The last time that they came to India was 2016. I think it's Babar's first visit to India. Even though I said that, Somesh cracked another joke which I can't mention right now. But what's in the news in terms of the Pakistan camp? Remember, Hassan Ali makes shocking comeback to an announced World Cup squad, and the big news was, as you can see, Naseem Shah will miss this year's World Cup with that shoulder injury, and very much has been dropped as well. So lots to talk about from a Pakistan perspective and discussing this squad right now. We'll get straight into it with Akshay first and foremost, even though Prithviraj will be doing the squad analysis for the men in green. Akshay, everyone's kind of having Pakistan in their top four. Is that a fair choice?
I mean, given how high variance the side is, it's just hard to predict, man. एक दिन आके इंडिया को कूट देंगे, दूसरे दिन आके नेदरलैंड से हट जाएंगे, पता नहीं चलेगा, और ये दोनों दिन एक ही हफ्ते में भी हो सकता है. That's how high variance they are. So I'm just sort of, I'm not too sure how to sort of go about understanding where they'll finish or end up in this World Cup. I'm just too confused.
Okay, we look at that squad then, Nikhil, and what really catches your eye? Because, of course, Babar is going to be the talk of the town. Many people think he's going to be the leading run getter. And then they, of course, have blokes like Shaheen Afridi, Mohammad Rizwan, who got some runs under his belt in the warm-up game. Haris Rauf, we know what he can be doing out there. And not to forget a lot of other players like Shadab Khan. But do you think the ODI team ranking, like you see there, too, is vindicated, A? And B, can they really contend for the cup?
Yeah, I think they'll hope so, and I think this is probably going to be Babar's biggest test as a skipper. More so because of the absence of Naseem Shah and the big gapping hole that seems to be very very obvious to the eyes of many watching the game. That okay, they are very very dependent on three pacers to do the job. Their spin department isn't taking a lot of wickets. So how does Babar get into this with okay, big overs from Iftikhar, okay, overs from Nawaz, but Nawaz also hasn't taken a lot of wickets. Osama Mir takes wickets but does go for runs. Hassan Ali can have Hassan Ali is the epitome of what Akshay just said. He could go for 70 one day and take 4 for the very next day. So that aspect, the Naseem Shah gapping hole, even with him, I felt they were starting to get a bit more predictable in terms of how you want to play versus them. Yes, you know Shine will do the damage up top, but that's there with every team. With every team, you have to play out one of their top spearheads so that you can attack others. At this point of time, the problem for them will be if they mess up the first 10 overs, if Shine doesn't strike, what do they go to? I think they don't have enough threatening options. They could keep people to a slightly lower score if they want to, but I think teams are going to be more confident and they'll need one of Hassan Ali or Mohammad Naseem Jr. to get into a top rhythm and take consistent wickets because I'm sure I'll not dwell into middle overs because that's where I want Paji to dive deep into that middle overs pool. So I think that's where the problem lies for Pakistan.
Okay, I mean, Pranavanand's also going to ask the questions. We'll, of course, bring these questions right after we get spot analysis and showing you the fixtures and all of that. But we'll go to that SWOT analysis and then we'll bring up the fixtures because what I want to allude to is Pakistan's strengths, Prithviraj, and probably you can shed more light on this.
Yeah, so we know, like, as we can see in that graphic, the highest batting average for batters batting at 1 to 4, best batting average in overs 11 to 40, highest run rate in overs 41 to 50, joint third highest. So these numbers, we know that, they've been associated with them. We know they have a stable top four. We also know that, the averages are there. But at the same time, if we look at the weaknesses, There's also the fact that this slow starter due to being top heavy, third lowest run rate in overs 1 to 10, and second lowest balls per wicket for batters 5 to 7, and second worst bowling average 47.2, and balls per wicket as a spin unit after the Netherlands. So their, some of their strengths are at the same time also their weaknesses. It's that kind of a side. uh, yes, they have high averages from 1 to 4, but it comes at a cost. We know that they don't start off very quickly, and which is why they need Fakar Zaman to get back into form. Yes, they have Abdullah Shafiq in the squad, but I don't think that they can really look to drop Fakar Zaman, because Abdullah Shafiq, while he's good, I have a lot of time for him. He's very compact, has scored runs in test matches a lot. I don't think that, Imam or Abdullah Shafiq, Babar, I don't expect anyway to take the game by its horns, or the bowling by the horns. I don't think they have a batter in the top 3 or 4 who can really set them up if they have to chase an above par total. If they have to chase a 320, 330, most days you can expect them not to chase that total, because they just are starting off slow. And if Fakar doesn't fire, you could, be assured that it's not going to get chased down. The spin bowling unit, we have spoken enough, even in the Asia Cup and now. And this is one team I feel, even though they've had that one injury, but that one injury has been so impactful that before before Naseem's injury, I felt that they had a genuine chance to make it to the top 4, and I'm not so sure. I don't think even Hasaranga's injury has that much of an impact on Sri Lanka, because Sri Lanka still have Tikshana and Velalage. But why Naseem was so important was because Shaheen can take wickets up front. You also know that Haris Rauf can take wickets, but what Naseem provides is accuracy. Both Shaheen and Harris have tendency to go for runs. Harris would even take wickets, but he could, so many times he could end up with a spell of 3 for 60. So
Yeah.
Naseem, even on the flattest of decks in Pakistan, has not leaked runs, and that is sometimes so important, because that allows also to others and come in and get those wickets. Maybe if you had Naseem bowling in the middle overs, you knew that runs will not come at his end, so you'll have to take that extra risk against Shadab or Nawaz or anyone else. Now you don't have that. They've brought back Hassan Ali, and there's Mohammad Wasim, but I'm not so sure how they are going to solve that problem. They dropped Fahim Ashraf, and I remember in the Asia Cup we were talking about them playing Fahim Ashraf instead of Nawaz, and I said it doesn't really solve problems for them, because he's good with the new ball, and even though he's good with the new ball, he's not better than any of those top 3 paces. So what Pranav is suggesting, that maybe they could use Haris Rauf in the middle overs. Maybe if they had Fahim Ashraf, they could have tried to get those 4 or 5 overs out of him on pitches where there was some swing available. And he's a far more technical batter than what Mohammad Wasim will be at 8. And I feel even Hassan Ali. I know Hassan Ali has first class hundreds, but Fahim Ashraf is someone who is technically solid. So if you need him, or if you even need him to arrest a collapse, he could be that guy. So I'm not really sure if I'm on board with that decision. Uh, they also have Saud Shakil. If you could just put on that 11 that I have, I want to stress on his place and Salman Ali Aga's position in that 11. Now, I have Salman Ali Aga at 5 because of his higher strike rate, and I feel he also is a more reliable bowler, and Pakistan will need his bowling given how they've gone in the middle overs. But one of the reasons why they've drafted Saud Shakil in, he was there in the Asia Cup squad, he was in the squad for that series versus Afghanistan, is because there is there is more than decent batting ability with him, and he provides a left-handed option which is not there outside of the openers. If you look at the middle order, so but I'm not really sure if they're going to start with him. But if runs don't come from Salman Ali Aga, he could really come in. He had a good score in the warm up yesterday versus New Zealand, so he could come in. Iftikhar will, I think, will more or less be a lock, and they would look at him to provide them with wickets. But their bigger problem right now is, and it has been for some time, is that how are Shadab and Nawaz going to fare in those middle overs? Because that is where they could really lose the grip of the game. And Babar's captaincy is like how Nikhil was going to Nikhil mentioned, is going to be key, because you cannot look to look to contain the teams first at the death, and not look at how the game is drifting away from you in front of your eyes. So if the condition, or if the need arises, I'd like Babar to go to his spacers in the middle overs and try and get those wickets rather than waiting for the opposition to make the mistakes, because I don't think they have that much of a defensive or a disciplined bowling attack to make the opposition to force the opposition into mistakes. So that is where I feel games could be won or lost with them. There was another comment about how Netherlands upsetting Pakistan, and what happened in the last World Cup with them. Last World Cup they were on similar points with New Zealand, but they got knocked out because of net run rate, and that bad loss to West Indies really came back to harm them. I don't think that they will be this close this time. I feel that Naseem's injury is going to be a huge factor, but this tournament could really be a legacy defining one for Babar. I mean, I think Babar as a batter needs to have the kind of tournament that Kane Williamson had in 2019, or what Shakib had, because the biggest criticism of Babar the batter in recent times has been that he's done a lot of minnow bashing, he's done a lot of stat padding, and he's never really scored runs on the big day. So if he is able to do that in this World Cup, his record against India is not the greatest. I think he's averaging around the 30s, hasn't even scored a 50. So this World Cup would really be a legacy defining one for Babar the batsman. For Babar the captain, it's something else. But Babar the batsman, this is going to be a huge World Cup.
Okay, we'll come back to that SWOT analysis that Gurki is doing, and one of the opportunities is alluding to the fixtures. Um, and of course, we'll bring that up in just a bit. Meanwhile, the comments keep on coming through. Sachit provides left hand batting in the repair bowling option with Salman Ali Aga, all these good test batter. And Sanjay Papigiri going to see how much in the pitch they're going to create a problem for Pakistan. It just makes me think about those fixtures then, Akshay. And I want to ask you about what are the banana skins for Pakistan? Where can they slip up? And do you think that they like the run of games?
Versus Afghanistan and Chennai is definitely going to be more than just the banana skin, because Afghanistan, of course, have a very good spin attack. On the other hand, like Gurkirat and Nikhil have also mentioned before, Pakistan's own spin attack and their own spinners might really struggle. And at a venue like Chennai, where spinners will get a lot more purchase, them not having enough resources to be able to exploit that or leverage that will really hurt them the most. And losing a game like that against Afghanistan could really set you back big time, and could potentially be the difference between you even making the top four or not. So that's definitely one game to look out for. And one more would be Bangladesh in Kolkata. Again, Bangladesh, fantastic, a very good pace attack. If they're able to get rid of their top three, top four in the first 10, 15 overs, Pakistan is pretty much done. They'll only have Iftikhar, Shadab, Mohammad Nawaz, or only the likes of them to follow after that. So if Bangladesh can get those early breakthroughs, then even the Kolkata game will be another banana skin for them for sure. And we've already discussed the Netherlands game. So venue-wise, they're really not well placed, so to say. All the games that they'll be playing against supposed Minos or teams that they're expected to win will be in venues where their opposition would be better placed, the likes of Netherlands, Afghanistan, Bangladesh. So it won't be easy for them for sure.
Nikhil, the obvious chinks in their armor is bowling because of Naseem's injury, and we just spoken about it really well. And of course, the spinners. Who's going to open their bowling apart from Shaheen? Is it going to be Shaheen and Harris, or do you see someone else?
No, I don't think Harris and Shaheen will open. Shaheen will definitely open. Possibly Hassan to start, because he also got some movement early on yesterday when he got Conway also out for a duck. But I think the problem with Pakistan is it's a thing that you don't want to ever happen to your side, about being very predictable in both departments. At this point of time, what are their best scenarios? It's very obvious to the eye that they rely on these two guys with the bat, they rely on these two guys with the ball, and then that is a very tricky place to be in, because it also puts a lot of pressure on the others, because they know that okay, Fakar is not scoring runs. If Imam and Babar get out early, what, as Akshay just rightly pointed out, what are you going to do suddenly? So it not only puts pressure on Imam and Babar to possibly, if Paji mentioned about lower strike rate, it could potentially make them change the way they want to play, which you hope doesn't happen. So I think that's where, again, this is because it's Pakistan. They can also turn this weakness into a strength by having others coming in and playing very freely, because then that could, it could also work in that way. So I'm hoping they do find the reinforcements in such a way that okay, they get a short Shakil, he's got one good game, he gets a few good scores, then you suddenly feel that okay, Iftikhar got a turn in Asia Cup, South Shakil is batting well. Let's hope Shadab and Nawaz are only required to finish, and then that just gives you the batting order also enough uh, strength or belief that okay, Abdullah Shafiq and Imam, okay, they're starting decently well. Suddenly, the team looks a lot more confident and being able to get to that power score. So they'll probably, I don't know if it's the right way, they'll probably have to go the New Zealand way and find the way to have hit teams as a unit. So there some will have to be greater than the team in
So,
the the
so,
individuals coming through.
so are you then agreeing with Gurkira's 11? Because if you had to make any change to accommodate what you're saying, would you bring in anyone else, or do you think this is the best 11 that they can put out on the day?
See, I personally would get in South Shakil there, because I think Iftikhar can do the job that Salman Ali wants to be done, with respect to bowling off spin. So that is the one change that I might do. And again, the entry point is what will decide 5 or 6 for him and Iftikhar. Apart from that, the only opening spot for rotation is Mohammad Wasim Jr. And again, that is a 50-50 call you can take with Hassan and him.
Okay, Paji, let's go back to that graphic then and talk to me about the opportunities and threats, because they do have a lot of opportunities, but the threats too are there to see.
Yeah, so favorable scheduling, only two games on slow wickets in Chennai versus Afghanistan and South Africa, and games against, now this talks about games against Australia, New Zealand, England on home like surfaces in Bengaluru and Kolkata. But even if they are home like surfaces, I'm not really sure that you could say, or you could say that Pakistan goes as favorite. You would still back Australia and England to have enough quality to get over the line against Pakistan. And yes, quite a few all-round players providing variety. This is something that we mentioned even with England. Just because there is variety, not sure if it can always compensate with quality. So that is my issue. Good batting depth on paper, yes, which is what that can allow them to post those above par totals. And on this, I also want to mention, Nikhil spoke about other batters. Even Rizwan has been batting quite well in recent times. He batted well yesterday. He batted well in that Asia Cup game versus Sri Lanka. So Rizwan could really be that guy who, depending upon situation, can decide if he wants to, start off attacking straight away, or does he want to take his time. And he's been really batting well in recent times, so maybe that helps. Threats is something, Shadab Khan's form. We've talked about their spinners. Hassan Ali has played only 5 ODIs since 2020, last in 2022, over reliance on Imam, Babar, and Rizwan. So the Hassan Ali bit again, I feel that even though I had Mohammad Wasim Jr. in my 11, Pakistan could rarely go with them, because we have seen teams have a tendency to go back to experience. And Hassan Ali has decent enough experience. They could probably think that he was brilliant when they won that Champions Trophy 6 years ago. So maybe that is what they go back to. But and if Hassan Ali is there again, that also doesn't compromise their batting at all. Maybe you could say he's a slightly better batter than Mohammad Wasim Jr., because Mohammad Wasim Jr. is more of a slogger from what I have seen, but Hassan Ali can actually bat. So that would really help them. But I still feel this is a team that should prefer to bat first and then post those above par total, so that the opposition batters are forced to take those extra risks in the mid overs that could bring wickets. Because if they are batting second, just the way their openers like to set up the game and everything, they would be out of their comfort zone if they have to chase a total of 300 or more than that. So uh, yeah, I mean that Naseem injury is something that has really set them back in more ways than one.
Yeah, I was just going to allude to that. That Naseem Inji, I would have loved it if he would have been part of this World Cup, because That's the thing, right? When you see all these tournaments, you want the best taking on the best, and that's a big blow to Pakistan going into this World Cup. Sanjay, chipping into this conversation, saying the Bengaluru fixtures are interesting for Pakistan. Could get really bad that they're facing New Zealand and Australia over there, and Afghanistan and Chennai could be a nice challenge as well. Babar Rav Apte saying what you don't want to happen, it will happen with Pakistan, and lots of people having their own thoughts about the men in green as usual. Shipping costs too high, boy, going on to say as Murphy Law dictates, anything can go wrong, will go wrong. So I'm back in Netherlands to knock off Pakistan's thoughts. I mean, I don't know about that. But good to see you as well, Adyanan, in this mega preview part 2 of 3. And you go on to say the thing with Park is that they haven't been able to develop their bench. Main players have played every possible match that they could have played without trying out players probable of insecurity. Right. Gentlemen, let's just of course give our predictions and MVPs. Akshay, I'll jump to you right now. Kudrat ka Nizam is a phrase going around. Will it be the case in India 2023 Pakistan?
Yeah, again, like I said before, I don't think I like my opinions have changed. I'm still just as confused. As much as I want to think and believe that they stand a good chance. The scheduling, like Gurkirat mentioned in the SWOT analysis during his SWOT analysis, it's very weird. It's almost like a dichotomy for them, where against top nations like England, Australia, and the likes, and even India for that matter, they play in venues where they can at least fight it out, and they're not really at a disadvantage against the opposition. But when it comes to the likes of Bangladesh, Afghanistan, and to some extent even Netherlands, they are in some sort of a slight disadvantage. So it becomes very weird. Like, we might potentially even see them, like I said before, them being able to beat the likes of England, Australia, and losing to the likes of Afghanistan and Bangladesh is not entirely out of the realm of reality. So I don't know. I'm just going to say, yeah,
they did something similar last World Cup as well. Lost to West Indies, but
exactly.
beat England. So,
That's why.
but
So
I'm really not sure what is the ideal venue for Pakistan, because it's not that if they get a flat deck, their batters are able to bat teams out of the
Dharamshala would
competition.
have been a nice venue to bowl in for
Maybe
Pakistan
if
bowlers.
maybe if Naseem was there, yes, but in the absence of Naseem, there is no ideal venue for Pakistan. Also, I mean, on flat pitches, you can't say that their bowling now can be a huge differentiator because Naseem is not there.
But I would
I
still
think
give, like,
I think
again,
Bangalore comes to closest. Bangalore maybe no.
to be honest, Dharamshala against, if they were playing Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Afghanistan, Netherlands, and Dharamshala, Shaheen and Haris would have also been more than good enough to be able to make use of whatever's on offer.
Yeah, on versus those teams, yes, but I was talking about against the bigger teams or the more fancy
Oh, yeah.
teams. You would
Yeah,
still feel
Bangalore.
that there is enough quality for them to get past across Afghanistan, get past across Netherlands and Bangladesh. But with Sri Lanka, given how that game panned out, you can't be so sure anymore.
True.
Absolutely right. Let's just finish up with our predictions and MVP. So what are you going for, Akshay? Pakistan or prediction and
So
MVP?
I'll say just about, I mean, I said sixth for New Zealand and fifth for, I'm forgetting whom. I did say fifth for someone, if I'm not wrong. Oh, no, I said
New
fourth for England, so I'll say fifth for New Zealand. Pakistan, my bad. Oh,
Okay.
wait, sorry. I've said fifth for South Africa already. So Pakistan, seventh. Chuck it, seventh. Because top three is very difficult. I don't know how will they make it in the top three. But that reminds me, who else would I place? So
Yeah,
that, that
you're expecting Bangladesh to make the semis.
no.
Yeah,
So I
this
change
is
it. So I'm basically doing a Pakistan to Pakistan. Seventh position से सीधा उठा के अभी third position में डाल दिया. I'm saying they'll finish in the top four. अरे भाई पंकज त्रिपाठी same pose निखिल भाई same pose. अबे साले same pose एकदम same pose. If our editor is hearing, please cut करके वो थोड़ा meme डाल दो भाई social media पे. But yeah, I'm saying they'll
one
finish third.
second. You can't go from there to of
I
course
can.
there. What do you
If
mean?
He's just
Pakistan can do
applied.
that,
He's
yeah,
just applied Kudrat ka Nizam.
exactly. जब
Something
पाकिस्तान खुद
similar,
कर सकता
something
है,
similar happened not too long ago in the World T20. They
हाँ,
lost to Zimbabwe and then they reached they reached the finals.
finals,
So
exactly.
Okay,
इतना
and
तो
your
हम पे भी
MVP?
बनता है भाई. My MVP, I'm going for Shadab Khan. I really hope he has a very good tournament because it's going to be very, very important for Pakistan's sake that he does have a good tournament. So only for that reason, mainly for that reason rather, I hope he has a good tournament with the ball, with the bat. He's shown that he has the goods to deliver in the middle overs and even at the death. So yeah, he'll be my MVP, and I hope he does well so that Pakistan finishes third, and I become. I mean, I am vindicated.
Okay. Uh, Gurkirat, you next. MVP and prediction time. Where will he finish?
Yeah, I think they'll miss out on the semi-final spot. Them and New Zealand could finish adjacent to each other, fifth, sixth, or sixth. You know those fifth and sixth spots are for those two teams to take. Uh, MVP is a tough one. As much as you would want one of Nawaz or Shadab to do well and allow that team to punch above their weight or get together as a unit, I don't see that happening. Uh, I'll go for Rizwan as an MVP because I feel him at four could really be that glue between those explosive five, six, seven and that stable top three. So Rizwan at four, I feel if he does well and he's able to change his gears accordingly, could really help Pakistan. So Rizwan at four could be my MVP. Also, he is not as fascinated enough with the leg side as he is in T20s. In ODIs, he's still able to play through the offside. In T20s, he sometimes forgets it. So for me, Mohammad Rizwan.
He's gone for the leg side merchant in Rizwan. Let's go and ask the fantasy merchant and Nikhil what he thinks about Pakistan. Where do they finish? You got one team in green finishing in the top four. Will it be two teams in green?
Yeah, I think they'll narrowly miss out. I don't know whether it's due to run rate or probably something else, but I think they have a chance, as Akshay said. If everything clicks for them, then they have that chance to sneak in. And thank God he didn't say Naseem Shah as the MVP because I can trust Akshay to do that. Okay, वो नहीं है इसके लिए he is my MVP. उसके बदले जो आया he did well. But my MVP is rightly also said by the fantasy angle. I'll go with Ifti Chacha, Iftikhar Ahmed, because I think if they need that finishing touch, and Power Awapte, we are on the same page. That see the bit is everybody in the top four bats one way. Iftikhar Ahmed is the guy who is going to be able to give them that impetus or take that 260 to a 290 or get them that extra score that they want to defend. And with the ball, we saw him take 3 wickets against Sri Lanka. So I'm sure teams are going to be charitable and they'll make me and Iftikhar both get some good points. So my MVP for Pakistan will be Iftikhar Ahmed, and probably fifth. If they do well, they could sneak in.
Okay, I agree with Gurkirat here. Mohammad Rizwan, I'm not being in terms of decency biased and all of that, but I generally feel if Pakistan has to have a really, really good tournament and go deep, Rizwan is the man for sure. Guys, it's been a fantastic mega preview part 2/3. We've, of course, entertained a lot of questions. We apologize if we haven't taken any. For example, Ashutosh Bajpai asked us one, but I'll take that with Somesh and Gurkirat on Tuesday night because that's a live Q&A heading into that World Cup, and we can take absolutely everything from ridiculous questions to serious ones, and we'll be there. So we will on Monday night as well. But right now, we will time to say goodbye, guys, and see you guys on Sunday because essentially we're done with what 7 teams at 3 more. And final thoughts, guys, because England, Netherlands, Pakistan, we're not getting winners from here, but there will be a lot of games.